My name is Mark Berima Frimpong, the patron of the Atobrakrom DAGHS Child Rights Club. As today, 12th of June, a World Day Against Child Labor, we are here to undertake a discussion on the theme Child Labor Eradication, a Shared Responsibility. In our discussion, these are the areas that we'll be looking at. 1. The meaning of child labor. 2. The causes of child labor. 3. The effects that child labor has on our children. And 4. The measures that we can put in place to totally eradicate child labor from our society. Before we start our discussion, because of the coronavirus pandemic, we would like to observe the safety protocols. So Fatao, please take the sanitizer around and sanitize each and everybody here. Good, good. As we finish sanitizing ourselves and also observe social distance, we would like to start with our discussion. But before we start, I would like to introduce our club members. I will start from the lady on my right hand side. So let's go.
Mary Apia.
Mary Apia.
Boating Margaret.
Boating Margaret.
Joseph Apia.
Joseph Apia.
Abudu Fatal.
Abudu Fatal.
Agnes Buama.
Agnes Buama.
Lukaya Alasa.
Lukaya Alasa.
Boating Lucy.
Boating Lucy.
Apia Abigail.
Apia Abigail.
Maxwell Frimpong.
Maxwell Frimpong. And I'm also Mark Berima Frimpong, the patron of the Child Rights Club here in Atobrakrom DAGHS. As we finish introducing ourselves, we are starting with our discussion. We are starting with the first item on our list, which is the meaning of child labor. But before we start, I want to ask a question. We have been saying child labor, child labor, child labor. Who is a child? Who is considered to be a child? I want to know your responses. Please don't forget that this is a discussion method. So we are all bringing our views and knowledge that we have on child labor. So don't feel shy to speak. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Who is a child? Appear.
From my opinion, a child is a person below the ages of 18 years.
Good. As we heard what Apia said, a child is a person below the ages of 18. That is 17 downwards. Now that we know who a child is, let's continue with our discussion. The meaning of child labor. When we say child labor, what comes to mind? Okay, Apia.
Child labor is a situation whereby a person below the ages of 18 years is being employed or forced to work for money, which may cause harm to the child.
Good. Apia is very right. Child labor is a situation where a child below the ages of 18 is forced to work for money or is employed to work for money. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Good. Who again? Fatao.
Child labor is the exploitation of children for economic gain.
Yes. Fatao is saying child labor is the exploitation of children for economic gain. If parents engage their children to work in order to gain income, it is considered to be exploitation and it constitutes child labor. Good. Who again? Mary.
Child labor is the employment of children in an industry or business, especially when illegal exploitation.
Good. Mary is right, but it is not when it is considered to be legal. It is rather when it is considered to be illegal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
When a child is involved in a work which is considered to be illegal, it constitutes child labor. Okay, the points that we've all raised are correct. But when you talk of child labor, there are some key points that we have to note. One, any activity that hinders a child from going to school is considered to be child labor. Any activities that blocks a child's education constitute child labor. So that is the first point that I want you to put in your mind. If you are involved in any work that will prevent you from going to school, it is child labor. Secondly, any activity that exceeds the strength of a child is also considered to be child labor. If the child is involved in a workload which is more than his strength, it is considered to be what? Child labor. And lastly, any activity or any work that endangers the health of the child, that puts the health of the child at risk, it is also considered to be child labor. I hope you've all got me clear.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Have you all gotten the 3 points that I've raised?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, with the definition of child labor, when you are explaining child labor, make sure that these 3 points are involved. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's go on. We are now moving to the second item on the list, which is the causes of child labor, or the factors that brings about child labor. If I may ask, what are some of the causes of child labor? I know we have several causes of child labor, so I want each and everyone here to talk, to express yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what are some of the causes of child labor? What do you think are some of the factors that brings about child labor? Appear.
Yes, you can. I want to know you. Now, I cry in the school. I pass oko. And as an cry no bit my school. I threw in your books. No one, man. Did your band sort in about share my team? Now I heard you, man. No, yes, car. No, they are 20 schools. Where's the team? Child labor.
Good. Appear is saying poverty and unemployment. It's a very good point. In a house where the parents are poor and there are no jobs for them to do, they at times force their children to work in order to raise the income in the house. Unemployment and poverty. It's a very good point. Who again? Fatao.
Ignorance.
Good. How do ignorance becomes a cause?
Awofo na omode akra ne adwumaden ebi omunim se ade na omoye ne child labor. For example, se akra ne papa ana se penin bi akwafu na omoye adwuma na ebi a spraying bo na penin no a protecting of himself from the harmful disease of adrono na akra ndi on protecting ho na akra na ko gina babi a papa no ebo spray no otwe adrono kono ebetmi ama akra na yare e ma na yare nso a child labor.
Good. That is a very good point. Ignorance. Fatao is saying ignorance. It's a very nice point. Out of ignorance, at times, parents force their children to work without knowing that it constitutes child labor. It's out of ignorance. They never knew that the work that they've asked their children to do constitutes child labor. Good. What again?
Low level of education.
Low level of education. Low level of education. How do you explain that?
Since the parents have no formal education, they don't encourage the children to go to school, but prefer them to work for money.
Good. That's a very good point. Agnes is saying low level of education. Education plays a major or a vital role in a child education. Parent education plays a vital role in a child education. If the parents are educated, it means they understand the importance of education and that they would like their children to go to school. But if parents have no education, they don't see how useful it is for a child to go to school. They rather prefer the child to work instead of going to school because they don't understand education. It's a very good point. Good. What again? Mary.
Loss of jobs.
Loss of jobs.
When parents lose their jobs and life becomes difficult, they want their children to work.
Good. It's a very nice point. Mary is saying it can come to a point where a parent might lose his job. In that case, they will force their children to go and work to supplement their little income they have in their house. It's a very good point. Who again? Lucy.
Death of the parents.
Death of a parent.
Children who loses both parents are forced to work to support themselves and their siblings.
Good. It's a very nice job. Death of parents. If a child loses his parents and he has interest in education, he will force himself to work in order to raise capital to go to school, to cater for himself and his siblings in the house. Good. So death of parents can be a very serious factor that can bring about child labor. All the points that we've raised are very good. I want us to highlight on the point again before we go to our next item. First, Apia said poverty and unemployment. Fatao also said ignorance. Mary, what did you say?
Loss of jobs.
Loss of jobs. Maggie, what about you? What did you say?
Low level of education.
Low level of education. And Lucy?
Death of parents.
Death of parents. All these are causes of child labor. All these are factors that brings about child labor. Good. Now that we know all the causes and the factors that brings about child labor, let's move to our second item on our list, which is the consequences of child labor, the effect that child labor has on our children. What are some of the consequences of child labor? Or what are some of the negative effects that child labor has on our society? I want us all to contribute. This is a discussion. I want us to talk. Feel free to express your view. Good. Apia, what do you think are some of the effects of child labor?
It may cause permanent damage to the child.
It may cause permanent damage to the child. How do you explain this?
My friend says you can feel.
Good.
I can't so need school one of us walk. Did your bands of a cock or edgema? Bitty set gala. And I said, motor tree, I don't want I can Okada. Make us say, Uchumoto, Okonya accidenta, then I bet me trap. Sounds no gala. Galans were the chemicals, baby. Chemicals new bet me gunani, I'm an yasay. Then it's any You want to bet Mamma Akran did them. Do any or how child labor, Ediba?
Good. That's a very nice point. It's a very good point. Who again? Abigail.
School dropout.
School drop out.
If a child
You can use your local language to speak.
if a child absents himself from school
Good.
as a result of work, he loses interest in schooling and eventually stops.
It's a very nice point. It's a very nice point. If a child does not come to school and always engage in work and is always working, he will lose all the interest he had in education and eventually he will stop coming to school. So, child labor can bring about school dropout. Maggie,
Fall sick.
the child can fall sick, eh?
Yes.
Good. It's a very nice point. How do you explain that?
According to this car, obetuma koye adwuma bi a ebo na ho odin so bi te say galamsey nso ye the chemicals na ye obetumi ahome chemicals na konmu e ba sa be na ya re so the effect of child labor eba.
Good. Maggie is saying that in the course of working, the child might be exposed to work which is more than his strength. So, in effect, he can develop sickness out of that job that he's doing. Good. So the child can be sick for working. Who again? Maxwell.
Death.
Child labor, Maxwell is saying, can bring death. Maxwell, how do you explain this?
Akwadaa no enim se osua
Good.
ena nduru emfi a wo se oye adwuma no
Good.
na mo na wo ye no na akwa na pomudin no na eso kofom onso mika se sika ya ye de man esua ede no odibi kwa ya sabia ko he no yale nti je so baye ne sa na yale ada yale mbaye din na de kwa hospital no fi na bibia no na bibia asai na akwa no ti me fam ni wawu.
Good. It's a very important point. I hope we all heard what Maxwell said.
Yes, sir.
It's a very good point. Who again? Okay. Accident.
When a child works in a risky environment, he or she can be involved in an accident.
Good. When a child is involved in a risky job or works in a risky environment, especially those who sell along the roadside and those who sell in the market, they can be involved in an accident in the process of what? Selling along the roadside. Do you understand? Yes. So, no ye adwuma wɔ kwan ho a anase baabi anase tibia bia ha adwena baabi te sɛ kwan ho edwom galamsey ase akra no betumi akwakonya akwanhyia bi a ɛde ɔhaw ɛbɛbrɛ no si ate ase yes sir obetumi akwakohyia akwanhyia ɛnam sɛ bia na ɔyɛ adwuma no ɛhɔ ehu nti. Good. Who again? All the points that we've raised on the consequences of child labor are correct. They are all very good points. So I want you to take good note on all of them. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Finally, we are going to our last item on the list, which is measures that we can put in place to eradicate this menace in our society. So let's go to our solutions, how we think we can all help to solve this problem. So what do you think are some of the measures that we can all put in place to help eradicate this problem, child labor? What do you think? What are some of the things that we can put in place? What are some of the remedies that we can put in place to help curtail this problem? Up here.
Child labor can be prevented by access to free and compulsory education.
Up here is saying child labor can be solved by access to free and compulsory education. Up here, how can they solve this problem?
Yeah, my way. I want you to have it. If you know my mama, been my phone, you know. The Acrano, or better than walk school. I was a bino, a boy. No master, I'm crying. A course school free. No more school free. Said a better monk or child labor. You want to bet me? Up, boy. I'm here to child labor.
Good, good, good. Up here is simply saying that the government, NGOs, and opinion leaders in our towns should make basic education free and compulsory so that needy children can also afford to go to school. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It's a very nice point. Who again? Yes, Maxwell.
Formulation and enforcement of bylaws.
Formulation and enforcement of bylaws. Maxwell, how do you explain this?
I was saying, Kurunumu empenufo. A bit say, I am for more Kurunumu. Any assembly mind, any committee members no. Omuna she any Kurumano. Eshembala say, the free no cree. I offer a behu say, what the mama, Equia Juma, or blouse and codit, or school de Musian. The Duma family wants to say, and I say, I'll follow about Quaquia Juma, Mr. Warrior. But in the call of Fuma, and this Abra Odon, Omanedo. As one in the call of Fuma, I would think who are collabi. Let it just sonum. You go mu yeb. This man is was a jan. You did say we should put me a mouth on a boom. I'm a some manaco school. I'm a dash, no be paying him.
Good. What Maxwell is simply saying is that chiefs and opinion leaders in our town should formulate policies and enforce them. They should put laws in place that will prevent parents from what? Exploiting their children or using their children to work. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. What again?
Providing support to the vulnerable in society.
Maggie is saying providing support to the vulnerable in society. Maggie, how do you explain this?
Yes, she a bedroom why you on crabby or mouth for a word or more, and then crabby or move us for. A dinner by I bet me dear boss uncle. It's yes, sir, I buy a banyu milk, uncle, you ma who dry and kaya banyu milk. A new company for sale. On bets my boy man cry out money as for, and I say cry out money I will for bets me out school. Said a bear that chimpy or minya. Nimdia at me a woman, you ain't so bad me to make to child labor.
Good. I hope you all get what Maggie said. It's a very good point. So, Fatao, what are some of the measures that you think can help eradicate child labor?
Education and sensitization.
Education and sensitization. Good. How can education and sensitization help reduce this problem?
I said, I buy Numaku. I'm crying Numaku. Numaku and Shabanse. And a company for example, NGOs, teachers, unit committee members. They in Chirachirema penny for our more mining. Send a bear. A month for a month and for child labor. And it's better me a boy, I'm here to child labor.
Oh, it's a very good point. It's a very good point. What Fatao is simply saying is that the government, the NGOs, and all stakeholders involved in education should educate and sensitize parents so that they will know the importance of education and will prefer their children to go to school instead of working. It's a very good point. Good. As we are gradually coming to an end, I want us to summarize whatever we've learned today. What are some of the key areas that we studied or we discuss today? Up here.
Today, we discuss the meaning of child labor.
Today we discuss the meaning of child labor. Good. Fatao.
The consequences of child labor.
The consequences of child labor. We also discuss the effect that child labor has on our children. I hope you are all clear on that.
Yes, sir.
What again?
The causes of child labor.
We also discuss the causes of child labor, the factors that brings about child labor. Good. And finally, we also discuss the measures that we can put in place to eradicate child labor. Good. Before we close, there's something I want to say. I want to say that child labor is a global problem. It means it's a problem faced by all countries in the world. So we are all doing our best to help solve this menace. So as we are going home, try and educate our friends and relatives in the house so that together we can come on board and help eradicate this menace. Thank you and good day.